You'll have a chance to talk to Will and the rest of our speakers after our Q&A when we're finished up here. And Will mentioned disconnection. At the end of our Q&A, I'm going to read a couple letters from mothers whose children have been disconnected from them. That's one of the big control issues in Scientology. One of the ways they manage to keep you in is to threaten taking away all of your relationships with your loved ones, your parents, your children. And our next speaker actually has faced that, and she also got in at a very young age. Maureen Bolstad is going to speak.
Well, I've done a lot of interviews already in front of cameras. This is the first time I've been in front of so many of them at the same time. I'd like to first say that I currently have a situation where I've been disconnected from my own twin sister, and it's a very heart-wrenching and hurtful thing to me, and the whole reason why she's not allowed to talk to me or believes that she can't talk to me is because I left the Sea organization, and that's one of the things that keeps people in once they join, is if they have friends or family that are in, and their threat is always there that you're not going to be able to talk to your family or your friends anymore if you just walk out. And there's another option of where if you decide to leave, you can properly route out, which is where you do a series of steps that gives you the authorization to leave. But then you'll have this debt, which is called a freeloader bill. You'll owe for all the services you got while you were a staff member, and you won't be allowed to talk to anybody until you pay that. But also, you know, routing out it isn't always easy for everyone because, well, in my case, and I'm pretty sure this is why I was like saved for last. I asked to route out from this organization in February of 1997, or yeah, 1997, and I was not allowed to. I basically was on the rehabilitation project force, and I was told that I was not allowed to route out, and I was not allowed to leave. I was stuck there, and I had somebody watching me always, 24 hours a day. I had to have a buddy with me. I had someone shining a flashlight in my face at night while I was sleeping every 2 hours to make sure I was still in bed. On the few occasions that I did manage to run away, I was tackled and brought back physically. I mean, one of the men that tackled me was a guy named Chris Geider, who was an ex-professional Australian football player. He was big, and I couldn't go up against that. But I kept trying. One of the last times on the RPF, at the end of 1997, I got into a fight with one of the other RPFers, and he broke my hand on a table and smashed me into some bookshelves, and I was pretty bruised up. And I basically said, hey, I'm fed up with this. If you guys don't let me out of here, I'm just going to stop eating and sleeping, and I'm just going to die. Because, you know, I wanted my freedom. I didn't like being treated like a prisoner when I'd done absolutely nothing wrong besides, you know, not wanting to work there anymore for nothing. So that night, I was talked into, you know, it's okay, you can get some sleep. It doesn't mean that, you know, they were saying maybe they would talk to me the next day about why I wanted to leave and treat me nicer. So I actually went to bed. I didn't keep my thread of not sleeping or eating. And that night I actually was able to run away. I heard the two people outside my door guarding it walk away from it, and I'd gone to bed dressed. And this is out in Hemet at the place that they called the Ranch, or Happy Valley, which is they don't own it anymore, but they used to own it near the Saboba Indian Reservation. And I ran behind the Indians' houses so the security guards couldn't get me. But there was like a search party that went out for me. They even had a dog. They had a couple of trucks, a bunch of people just out it was like 4 or 5 in the morning trying to find me. And I made it all the way to my aunt's house. I hitched rides, I took the bus. And when I got to my aunt's house, an official from the Church of Scientology showed up at her house, and they brought my sister. And they said, if you come back, sorry. I said, if you come back, you'll get to talk to your sister, you'll get to talk to your husband, and you won't have to do the rehabilitation project for us, and we'll treat you better, and made all these promises, and I wanted it to be true. But when I went back, I got stuck there for another 3 damn years.